Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today, together, we are going to paint this adorable blue jay in a winter scene with berries, with snow on top. It's just a really sweet scene, and everything is so colorful and vibrant. It's going to be a lot of fun to paint. Now, to do that, I'm going to break this down step by step. Every technique, every color mix, every tool is going to be thoroughly explained. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hello.
He helps me bring these detailed lessons to you by making sure the camera is pointing at the techniques that I'm demonstrating, that you can see the color mixes throughout the whole video, and that everything is operating smoothly. He's also my liaison to my community because this is a live stream, not a premiere. This is a live. So if you're here for the live, be sure and put your questions all in caps, and a couple of things will happen. One thing might be that the wonderful moderators that we have, these are volunteers that come to these live streams and that they've just been watching for a long time, so they know where everything is. They will help you find the video that you're looking for or that help you get your question answered. They're really here as ambassadors more than anything else. That's why we have so many moderators, is they're here to help out, not gatekeep. And then the other thing is sometimes you get your question answered in the show live. So that's also fun. All right, let's go over the materials.
Okay, let's go over here. Let's see.
Make
I think I have a
me,
button
make
for
me
that.
mini.
Oh yeah. Make a little you.
Little me.
There's a
Yay,
little you.
I'm so small now.
Material.
Materials. We want to go over that? Yes, we do. Okay. So I'm using a 12 by 12 canvas today. I'm going a little bit bigger because sometimes it's easier for you guys to paint a little bit bigger than it is for you to paint small, but not so big that the canvas is overwhelming. So 12 by 12. Now, if you don't want to draw today, I'm going to show you step by step how to draw this out. I'm going to like totally freehand it out and paint because I'm an insane person. But if you don't want to do that, there is a link to the traceable on my website that you can download, and I have videos on how to transfer that onto the canvas that are not particularly long that you can watch if you've never ever done that before. On the palette is the following: Mars Black, Burnt Sienna. This one is Dioxazine Purple. It's easy on my palette to mix up the Mars Black and the Dioxazine Purple, so I try to separate them out. I've got Cad Yellow Medium, Cad Red Medium, Quinacridone Magenta, Phthalo Blue, Ultramarine Blue, Phthalo Green, and over here I have another little bit of Cad Yellow and Cad Red. That's for the background. In the center, I have Titanium White. I also have on my table satin glazing liquid, which I use when my paint is not spreading out nicely or is dry or my canvas is thirsty.
That was an oops. I did a. Hold on, how did I do that?
Can you go back to step one?
I can't. I just accidentally somehow hit it. I was like, how did I do that?
Well, I mean, it's the worst thing in the world.
It's supposed to be materials.
It's the worst thing in the world.
Materials.
Worst thing that's ever happened. Worst thing in the world. So I think that's it for the materials that we're going over. That kind of like
I did see.
my brain went.
Well, see, it put materials up, and then I think I hit the next button. It went to 1, and then I had to put it back up. So it was a user
We're
error.
very serious here.
This is professional.
It's professional, serious business that we're up to. Been doing it for 10 years. Super professional. Super fresh.
Sorry.
Super fresh. All right. So let's get on to that step one and start having some fun doing this painting together. All right. I'm excited about today. Now, I'm going to start out pre-mixing my background color. This is Cad Yellow Medium, and this is a little bit of Cad Red. Notice I have a lot more Cad Yellow than Cad Red, and I'm going to very carefully start to mix in this Cad Red into the yellow to create kind of a yellow-orange. Cad Red is very staining to the Cad Yellow, so you definitely want to have less, not more. Less is more. All right, so when you have that out like that, I'm going to go ahead and clean off my artist knife. Just kind of wipe it clean. Put it aside for a good wash later.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I am going to put out some satin glazing liquid so that I can cover the background just easier. I'm going to unscrew that. It's a brand new bottle. It's a brand new bottle, John. It's
brand
fresh.
New.
Look at this. Fresh. Pop that seal.
Well, you right between the two cameras.
I did it between the two cameras?
Yeah.
That was so satisfying. I'm sorry that you missed it. It was just peeling goodness. All right, so I'm going to open this up, and you put out, it looks milky, but it's actually clear. What this does is it extends my paint and allows my brushability to be better. So it can just make this paint go longer and slow down its drying time. I'm going to grab a little bit of this glazing liquid into my brush, and then let's go ahead and grab some yellow orange and paint the whole canvas. A thin layer.
I like the color. It's a very, very, like, lovely, sunny color.
It's a sunny color. That's a good way of describing it, as a sunny color. I am spreading this out thinner because I want it to be a little more yellow than orange. And as the paint's thinner, you'll notice it goes a little more yellow. You can also paint the sides with this color if you want to, but at least paint around the edges of your canvas a little bit so that when you frame it, if you decide to frame it, that there isn't white showing. Or just paint all around the sides. Also okay. Perfectly acceptable. I was worried there was going to be enough of this here.
Yeah.
But there was plenty. And I am kind of being rough. Oh, I'm using a number 1-inch Princeton Select oval mop. Any big brush you have that will paint the background will work here. You don't have to have my exact brush at all, especially for this step. It's just about whatever brush lets you cover your canvas with a bright yellow orange. Not orange red, but yellow orange. Red orange. Not red orange, yellow orange. And just spreading that out, really working that into the canvas so that we have a good basis to begin the project today. Also, give me a little more time before I have to freehand this in.
Free-handed.
Because that's totally always a little stressful. Especially during the live streams, because you never know how it's going to go. My advice for that is if you're feeling stressed with freehand drawing, that you slow down and take your time. A lot of times what happens is people rush, and the rushing kind of undermines what they're doing. But to do the next step, I've got to dry this canvas thoroughly. John's going to talk to you about, we have soap in our new garage sale boxes. So John will talk to you about that.
We do. All right. In our new garage sale boxes, which are in our store, theartsherpa.com, we have our new soap. And I'm really kind of proud of the soap. We've done a really good job of getting the new formulation of soap to just be really, really good. The soap that we currently have is all in our garage sale kits because I only made a small batch. But if you hang out the next month or so, I'm going to have another batch of it coming up. Let's see. How long... How long are opened, but closed, or good for? Okay. Your acrylic paint should be good on the shelf stably for years, especially if it's from a quality brand. If it's kept in a reasonably good, climate-controlled, like if humans were in the space, then the paint is probably fine. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. You can always squeeze some out and test it before you use it on a full painting. Just, make sure. But, yeah, it should be okay for the most part. Even old paint is just fine, really. So, interesting stuff.
What was interesting stuff?
That paint lasts a very long time if you keep it in relatively good human environments.
That's a true story. It's true. You can find some really old acrylic paint that's still good. It's kind of impressive. Uchrich, I for sure I know has aged really well because we had left some in a closet and then pulled it out like 8 years later and it was still great. So I would say there's definitely some refreshing freshness about certain paints. All right, I'm going to use this number 8 Isacryl right now, and I'm going to start to sketch in my twiggles. My twiggles are going to be Mars Black and Burnt Sienna. And we're going to very carefully come in from over here. Very, very gentle little stroke. Where you have little bends, I can bring little buds out. Now I'm going to come over here. Join up my little branch that's bent over. Be erased, but I still like to put the joints a couple of places. Stroking along very, very carefully. This is the stage you would use the traceable if you're unconfident in your drawing. And I have both the branches and the berries and the bird in that traceable.
That makes it much, much easier than freehanding, eh?
Much, much easier than freehanding. But why would we do anything easily? That's just mayhem. I'm right here. I'm a little bit over from the right-hand side. A little bit of a bud there, and maybe midway up here, let's give it another little bud. Just right off the left-hand side, close to the edge there.
What happened there? Is that a surprise sneeze? I don't know.
I know, it was a cough sneeze. Oh my goodness, that was crazy.
Give you a mute for you can drink a little drink there. There's a little body test to make sure you're
that
paying
everything
attention.
was on.
Your body was like, hey, you there?
This is like a test of the emergency cinnamon system. All right, so I'm going to put another little bud here. And I might put another little bud up there. All right. Now, I don't want to do this as another step because I want to sketch everything in on one step. So I'm going to take my number 6 sepia round, but I kind of want to hit this with my hairdryer real quick so I can rest my hand on the canvas and really kind of figure out. Oh, you know what? I forgot a whole twig.
You got a whole twig.
I forgot a whole twig. That cough like really threw me.
Third twig. It's,
Stuff like that happens and you're like, is everything okay?
Mm-hmm. And branch.
And branch, the missing branch. Give a little bud there. Another little bud there. Okay, now I'm going to hit it with a hairdryer real quick so I can sketch in the bird that I have all the branches in. It was wild.
Just a little. So you're going to dry that a minute?
I'm going to dry this just real quick and then I'm going to sketch in the bird.
Okay. Just a quick dry. Quick dry. Shh. And, sometimes that's necessary for you don't have to drag the paint when you touch the surface or you're doing different layers. So it doesn't always require a full step in lesson terms. So just, give it a little quick dry. That'll make sure it's Yeah, and you don't need to use the heat, just the air moving. Same step though.
Mute me.
Oh, hold on a second. Whoop, you're muted. You okay? You got the hiccups?
Something. It's like the hiccups. New version of the yips.
Hmm.
I guess. All right. So sketching this in, I have to think about spatial relationships. I have a big cluster of berries here, and I want enough room for my bird to have legs. So I've got to come up here and I'm going to sketch a little bit of the belly. Very, very carefully. Some glazing liquid so it flows nice. And I'll bring this back up. A little bit of a little kind of cherry out there. And then I think I'm going to put a little beak here. Come back a little bit of head, a little bit of the crest.
Hmm.
So I'm just trying to get scale and space. Drawing a little bit of a beak. Maybe a little more of a forehead there. And a high rise. Right here. I think about a little eye. Right here, I'm just making sure there's enough width in the neck. Little double sort of bump. Little indication of where the wing is going to be. A little bit of an angle on the tail. And then this tail has a bit of a fold over it, so I'm going to just paint that brown. Just to remind myself where that feather fold is on that tail.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about that there. I'm not going to put the feet in because when I paint in the berries, I kind of have to think about where the feet go once all the berries are in. I have to find a little spot for them. Like, is it on a berry? Is it on the branch? So I know that ahead of time. But I'm going to basically have a little foot coming here and another little foot coming here after I
Oh,
put the berries in. All right, let's call that a step.
and a thank you to Ramona.
Ramona, thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you for such a generous.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that very, very much.
So you
Ooh,
you don't really need to dry that. That's just sort of sketched.
just sort of sketched.
Yeah. So you think that
Step.
you ready for your next step then?
Yeah, we're going to bury.
All right.
We're going to bury the berries. Going to bury the berries. Now to do the berries, I'm going to take a little bit of my Cad Red. over to my Dox Purple. Make kind of a deep burgundy color. Come here. I think I'll just start a berry here. Add a little glazing liquid so it flows off my brush easy. And here I want a little half berry behind the branch. I'm going to paint it like half. Half. And put a little berry right here. Another little berry right here. Berries are kind of a slow process.
You could pounce them.
You probably could pounce your berries. Probably you could. I think I'm watching the pouncer.
You're now like, I might want to pounce them now.
Probably make it much easier, but I'm painting them in circles, so that's what we're going to do right now.
Oh, thank you, Mary Kate. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, we really appreciate all of that. It means a lot. I just can't say from the bottom of my heart, we really appreciate you supporting us doing this, because the thing that Cinnamon and I love the most is being able to make these videos and be here with you guys and do this as our life. We spend all the time thinking about all the stuff like, oh man, I'm so excited about the soap. This next batch of soap I'm working on is so cool.
Like, yeah, we're gonna get some individual soap up.
Yeah, I've gotta get this next batch done. I just did a little test run on some stuff, and I had to make some changes to the manufacturing process.
Not the soap formula, just the process by which we do it.
In this case,
it's fast. It requires a lot of us.
Yeah, in this case, I've got to
make a little stem right here, and then kind of paint another little berry.
Yeah.
You can go back to it. I just want to tell them about the stem.
No, it's okay. I'm just like.
Other than that, we just very quietly berry along.
But the new soap I got a new cutter. It's a super cutter. It's like.
Be safe with it, cutter.
It's like, French guillotine level of cutter. They brought it for real. This dude named Andy was like, I don't play around. I make soap cutters. And I was like, Andy, I want one. it's this big, yeah. It's a.
Down here and berry up. You like the soap cutter?
Yeah, it's a definite like. You must be an adult to use this tool.
I definitely am not an adult.
It has no safety guards. It just goes and chops it.
Sometimes you make a smaller berry. And then this berry kind of comes right off the page.
So
has a little friend next to it.
I'll see if we can post pictures of it, of the soap cutter chopping some soap for you.
Oh, your promises.
I'm gonna see. Well, I can see what I can do. It's like this guy named Andy makes it. It's Andy's soap cutter. You could probably find him on eBay. It's a serious thing. It's a guillotine chopper.
All right, let's put a little berry here.
Swizzle Stick wants to know, John, how to figure how much to give. I'm not sure. Not sure what you mean there. Swizzle stick. You know, if you're talking about for the patronage, anything you like, you're comfortable with, we just appreciate it. You know, you can go to our website, theartsherpa.com, and in our store, you can join our patronage there. Or no,
On
it's on
Patreon.
Patreon. On Patreon. There we go. You can go to Patreon and join it. We've sort of moved things around here and there, but no matter where you patron us, if you email support@theartsherpa.com and let us know, we'll make sure we get you newsletters and all that other kind of stuff.
We like
So,
sending out newsletters
we
with
do.
some news. Right.
The GNU news.
The GNUs. I feel like my berries are not big enough.
Okay, make them bigger.
I'm going to make my berries bigger.
Although I would have to say that berry size to bird size, I don't know. It's like, as it is, those are pretty big berries.
Yeah, but I made big berries the first time. I made real
All right.
big berries.
You want more? Go big berry.
I'm going to go bigger berry.
All right.
Sometimes I get into something and I look at it and I'm like, you're not quite where I want you to be. Just a little bit bigger.
Mm.
What's nice is that once I'm here, I can just make them bigger easily. Silly me. Just make them bigger. Cats have decided to tear down the house.
They're just little tiny kittens. Kittens. They're not even a year yet.
I know.
They're babies.
Big giant babies.
Yeah. And when Vigo lays on me, he lays all the way across me and hangs off, and he's just huge.
And Noki likes to think that she's a tiny kitten and curl up in the smallest spaces possible that she does not fit in. I feel a little bit better about that. That was kind of fussy, but I'm glad I'm doing this.
Mm.
Sometimes you gotta make those choices for your.
Now, with the background that you're painting in a little bit, the blue stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you've chosen to put that in later so that you can create the emphasis.
Because we're layering in this really expressive way, and we want some of this underneath to kind of come through. That's where the golden stuff is going to come through. So we're going to do all the little detailing of the background, and then come in and paint the foreground figures. It's kind of a nice way to like get this in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing right now. All right, I'm going to dry this.
Dry this.
Dry.
And I'll talk.
And you have the traceable, so you have everything you need if you're doing the traceable. Or freehanding with me is also good.
So, okay. Interesting things that often get questions we get is why do we do the order of operations that we do? And sometimes it's because as a beginner, it's easier for you to get all the lines up there and then paint the background around those things to create the emphasis that you want, as opposed to making sure that you know ahead of time where to put those background elements and make sure that the layers over the top of them work. So this is kind of an approach to that design that makes it easier for beginners. So
yeah, there's always like 5 or 6 ways to do a painting.
so many.
So many, and I just generally try to pick one that will allow everything to layer and look rich and finished.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the acrylic ground is about. You don't have white canvas popping through. That's the first thing that makes your canvas look more finished, is you don't have a lot of white canvas going through.
Mm-hmm.
So to help beginners just have a better looking painting at the end is get started with an acrylic ground. We don't always do an acrylic ground, but it is a great way to get in there.
Yeah, it's very good.
Good. All right. Now I'm going to take...
New step?
Yes, new step. I'm going to grab a 1/2-inch angle brush. Or no, it's not 1/2 inch. It's a 3/4 inch angle brush. Anything from a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 inch angle brush will work. I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of my yellow and take it over to my orange. And start just brushing in this next layer. Get a little white into it. And I'm going to paint around the branches. And you'll see when we're painting this what I mean about that we are painting round objects and the yellow is showing through underneath. This is going to make the painting like glow at night. And take a little bit of white over to my orange. Come down here and get a little peaching going. A little peaching. Painting around. So even if your background were like streaky, this part of it starts to finish it out for you. Grab a little bit of my yellow down here. Work it right in. You can see it's just creating another layer. Maybe a little more Cad Red in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cad Red.
A little more Cad Red. Pinks it up a little bit. Peaches it up. It's just a bit of work and effort, but it's completely worth it. I'm going to take a little bit of my red here, a little bit of my yellow. Blazing liquid so it goes farther, and grab some brighter red orange. And I'll get some of the yellow orange on here, kind of bringing it over. Bit more yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can feel like more of the same, but it's really not. You're really making a point of like finishing this little background out. Now what's nice is I can paint over the bird a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and the lines will still show through. A little bit more yellow over here. Just filling it in. Now I can come in and get a little white. A little more color in that. A little more of the peach down here.
That's nice.
Painting in a background like this in a sort of abstracted way can create a sense of space. Like, so this feels like winter, even though we're not painting like a high detail of like a snowy scene behind the bird and the branches. We're just painting the colors of sunlight and snow.
Mm.
And together those create this like wonderful effect. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow. I got a lot of blue that's going to be coming over this, so I don't have to be too special about it. A little bit of yellow and white. Right here. A little bit of yellow and white that just kind of pops that. Pop them over here a little bit. Just around. You just work it in.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have our sunlight.
Is very nice.
We want to really rinse out our brush or wash it completely and change brushes, or wash it completely or change brushes. So what you want to do is get the yellow out of the brush and the orange, because you're going to be making some turquoise, and we will be adding some yellow to the turquoise, but we don't necessarily want to add a lot of orange through the whole thing. It could gray the turquoise. That's why we want a clean brush for the next layer. But to do that, I've got to dry everything.
All right.
All right.
Dry, 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 dry.
Dry, 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 dry. Dry, 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 dry.
So, yeah, while she's drying, I'll mention the new soap is it's super cool. I can't tell you how excited I am to be making this stuff. We have some new, really, really good stuff coming next year that I'm excited to be announcing. As soon as we get the thumbs up on it, I know that there's lots of new things coming. So stay tuned.
Stay in tuned.
Stay in tuned. All right, we got to do another step up, don't we?
We got to put another little step up. I think I'll use the same size angle brush, which is the 3/4 inch angle brush. I'm going to get some clean water on here, and I'm going to mix a little of my Phthalo Green and Phthalo Blue together. And then I'm going to take a little white over to that. I'm going to come here and we're going to start to loosely sketch in some blue. Being fussy here. And it's okay if some yellow is peeking through your blue. That's completely fine. Just using the corner of my brush to paint in close to my berries.
Mm.
Might switch down to a smaller brush. I like to use the biggest brush I can because it shortens the amount of painting time I have. Oh, I painted out my little nub. I'll have to put my nubbin back.
Mm-hmm.
My little bud.
Oh, Constance, don't worry. I'll talk about the soap so much. We got there's soap in the store right now in garage sale kits, and I've got more soap coming soon.
It'll
Soap,
be
soap, soap.
individual soap.
Individual soaps are coming,
Little blue, little extra blue in there.
but they're going to be a little bit. Just so that's why
You might get a little of my yellow in that now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now I maybe want a little bit of that. Leaving a little bit of peach down here to peek through. Since I have my berries kind of painted in it, I can still come in and like, even if I take them out a little bit, I can put them back. I just needed to know where they were. Using the corner of my brush to sort of get in all the little tight spaces. Brushing out a little bit of this blue, but I want to leave some yellow peeking through. Not all the yellow though. Little blue, little green, some white, turquoise. Blue, green, and white is always going to give you a version of turquoise or teal.
Looks so cool. I like how it looks. The layers of the blue make it look sort of
Wintry.
very wintry and out of focus, and it's like it really shifts the importance to the foreground.
I feel like that's true. All right, I'm going to bring a little bit of my yellow and white over here. Now up here, I'm going to get lighter. Even lighter than that. Little yellow into my blue-green.
Yeah, the turquoise really makes that orange pop.
It does. Well, this is a lot of fun play on color theory. A little white.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit of this over here. I'm going to come over and make a couple little marks. Now I wipe out this brush.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to come get white involved. We're going to start layering some colors. Dry brushing it around here.
Nice.
Just a nice, relaxing kind of thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
A little yellow green here. It's just really about getting some nice variants, some nice fun color play. We all want the color play.
Yes. Yeah. Lots of interesting.
Grab different blue greens as I come through here so it layers out really well. As we layer it up, it just gets more delightful in its color. Extra layers there. A little bit there. A little bit of white, and yellow. Just building up the color structure here. And every layer adds more depth to what we're doing. So we're just building up. You can always
Just.
go into darker layers and come back
Mm-hmm.
into your lighter stuff. So you've got so much room to play and get different values and hues going. All right. Got the basic idea there. Rinse our brushes out very thoroughly. It's good for the brush, good for us. And remember what we're going to do after we paint. We're going to wash our brushes. So these were the 3/4 inch angle brush. This is the Catalyst by Princeton. It's a nice polytip, heavy filament brush.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are we allowed to say the good news about the new stuff that's coming?
I don't know. That's why I was just lamenting about that. Like, I think we might. I'll wait until we get cleared after the show. But
Yeah.
for sure, stuff is coming. There's definitely new product coming next year. And Jules, yes, I did. I thank you so much for the Zell. I saw
Thank
that come
you.
in, and so I
Thank
wasn't sure
you.
if you were here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's a party. Party. All right. Party, 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 party. It's a
You need
whisper
to dry
party.
this, or are you good?
I need to dry this.
You need to dry.
I need to dry, my friend.
All right.
I need to dry.
While she dries, we shall watch. And yes, thank you so much, guys, for the support and the patronage, for the Zelle donations, for purchasing things through our store. It really, really makes a big difference, and it helps us keep all the little lights on. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now we need a new step.
A new step. We're going to come into a new step, step 6, and I'm going to take my number 6 Raphael sepia round. I'm going to bring a little brown over to my yellow orange. Get some glazing liquid in it to improve the flow. I'm having a thirsty day with my paint, so I'm going to come over my brown black. This is why I wasn't too worried about the branches. Because I knew I was going to be painting them back in. Then I'm going to grab some burnt sienna. Bring some burnt sienna down here. Burnt sienna over the branches. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my black. It can even be a little black and brown, but close to black. And I'm going to come here and darken the little buds. It's a fussy bit of kit, I know. Maybe a little darker here underneath the bird. We are live. This is not Memorex. All right. A little bit of those little bits there. That's a step. So once we've got that in where we like it, we're going to dry it with our hair dryer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dry.
Dry, 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 dry.
Let's see. So many things. Bella asks, please. We were definitely trying to get it so we can ship to Canada. We just, that is something that we can't, we don't have a lot of control over because we have to coordinate with the warehouse that allows for us to set up international shipping. And it is something that we're working on doing, but it's something that's much bigger than just a us just pulling a trigger on it. We have to get a whole series of bureaucracy processes because doing international shipping has legal implications that we have to go through. But that's what we're working on it. It's
We're
just
working
part
on
of it.
it.
You ready for your next step?
I think I'm going to take a sip of my drink.
You gonna sip your drink?
I'm going to sip my drink.
You're gonna sip in
Contemplate
silence.
my life choices.
Oh, I'll answer this question. Roserna wants to know what is DJ Sasquatch. So, in the if you go back and look, was he a 13 days?
He was 13 Days of Halloween.
So he's 13 Days of Halloween. If you go back and look, you'll see that Cinnamon did a Sasquatch, and he is over my desk. And when you look at the picture, he looks like he's DJing. He's got this really sort of looking up at him like he's at a party in the woods, and I call him DJ Sasquatch. So he's over my desk.
It's over his desk. He does, and it is. Let's see if I want to use my little angles or not.
Are we on another step now?
We're on another step, my friend. All right. Now I'm going to get a little bit of my quinacridone and my and Cad Red together. I'll come here.
This is the next layer of red.
This is the next layer of red. We're just going to paint all our little berries.
Mm-hmm.
Just make them plump and red. These are those kind of berries that birds can eat, but people cannot.
Right.
Which I believe is a real thing.
It was like, pan the camera to show it. I'm like, you can't. I don't have a camera that can get on that angle from here.
Which angle?
Over my desk. I couldn't swing a camera around to look at it. I don't have one that would see it from where everything's at.
That's true. That's the other end of the room.
Ignore the man behind the green curtain.
Strange literary character to relate to. Little berries. I like to come back and kind of paint these with more consideration to how they layer in with each other. I'll start to leave little spaces between them, and the shaping of the brush and everything starts to really shape the berry.
Berry.
Berry, 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 berry. Maybe get a little more. This little guy is a little bigger. It'll work. A little highlight on that one little berry. I think I'm going to pull this berry to the front. I've got a little space here I can put a foot, so that's worked out really, really well.
Need
But
a
when I don't, I just put it on the berry. So just don't be like so married to putting your foot exactly where you feel mine is on the canvas. Look at your canvas, look at your spacing of berries, and make a decision. Does the foot fall naturally here? Or does it need to be over the berry? Because we're not Xerox machines, we're not copy machines. I'm not a forging artist. I don't forge my own artwork. I teach the techniques on how to get the painting done. So there's always little variants, and you've got to be flexible when you're doing your own paintings to know that you're an individual, not a copy machine.
yeah.
And if I'm not exactly the same between the same painting over several days, right? Like every time I paint this, and I used to, I did work at a painting party for a long time. And I can tell you that and I would do the same paintings again and again and again and again. It's probably why I'm so resistant to doing it now,
Yeah.
like a multitude of times, because I would have to paint the same painting maybe 7 times in a week. It was like crazy. But they would never be exact copies of each other, even from me. And I was teaching it.
Yeah.
So that's just something important to keep in mind, that we're not copy machines. We're not Xerox machines. And we can't just, it's a special skill to be able to duplicate something at the level where you couldn't tell it from the original. Like forgers are highly skilled people. Honestly, you're skilled enough to forge, you're skilled enough to make a living at painting. I don't know what you're doing. You should stop forging and go forth and make a living at painting, because you're probably really good at your skills. All right, let's try this.
All right.
My public service announcement aside, for forgers everywhere, maybe I saved one, I don't know.
That's our one of our new side missions is to redeem any of you who want to break bad and go do forgeries. I think that we're going to try to keep you here with us. Don't follow the path of Walter White and going the bad. You gotta gotta be a good painter. Don't break bad. Don't be breaking bad. Be a bad painter. Good painter. I'll make a step. Oh, wait. There you go. You were muted. Sorry about that. I muted you. What are you doing there?
I've got my number 2 Raphael Precision brush that I got some black paint with, and I'm putting little
Little-
buttons on the showing where their little base is. These are dark little focal points of the berries. Notice I'm putting them in different positions, so it causes the berries to turn and face different directions.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I'm going to go check something here. You should talk about mirror neurons and why watching you paint is actually helping people to learn to paint.
Well, I will talk about that if I can remember. I'm kidding, I can remember. So mirror neurons is a type of brain cells that we have a lot of when we are kids, but we have our whole life. And we're designed to learn by watching others. So when you're sitting and watching someone paint, or you're sitting and watching somebody do anything, believe it or not, your brain is busy doing it with them as if you're doing it in real life. So you are painting when you're just watching, which is why a lot of you feel like, oh, I watched this once through on the live, chatting with everybody, having a good time, but then I come back and paint it. But see, you watched it once, so it's like you painted it one time before, which is why people that watch it once before they watch it again to paint it end up having sometimes better results in their paintings because, in a sense, they've painted it twice. And put a little nubbin right here, a little bit there. And I think I'll add one right here, kind of facing that way. And then I will come up here. That's looking pretty good. So now I've got the berries facing some different directions. I'm going to take some red paint. And I'm going to come to the back of the berry. And then I get some purple. Purple and red still. Might switch to my round again or an angle brush, little angle brush. I want some more control over what I'm doing. So this time I'm getting mostly just Cad Red. And then come here. Paint the top of the berry. Paint the top of the berry.
There's a heard something interesting
Hmm.
that MTV is 40 years old.
It's interesting. That's wildly depressing.
Yeah, I mean, they've been providing music television for a good 12, 13 years. I mean,
Oh, I know it's cool. They invented reality TV, but I don't know that they did us a service. I think we were better off with the music television.
well, you know,
I miss it.
I just use YouTube as my MTV now because I
Yeah.
actually get music television. Just
That's where all the videos are. Can you paint this? So I'm painting the tops of the berries red, and you can see it's bringing them into a brighter, more vibrant aspect. I think about where the sun would hit, and then I leave what isn't in the sun a little bit darker.
It's a shady.
Yeah. It's okay to be shady in your painting.
All right. While you're shading,
While I'm shading.
I'm gonna go get. I'm gonna start the coffee machine.
Coffee. Da 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 coffee. I'm so happy to hear that coffee's being made. I'm gonna really get the front of this one. These take a few layers. These berries were definitely something to paint. Big chunky berries. Now I'm feeling good about the berries. Big chunky berries. We haven't even put snow on them yet. You'll notice that where the berries are close to each other, I leave the darkness to help create the shape. Just using the number 6 round to get a little bit of this Cad Red on here. going to grab a little purple there. Separate these up a little bit. It's too much separation. Leave that one a little dark because it's sort of tucked in this time. Tucking it in, running around, painting it, painting it, painting it, painting it, painting it. I'm up here. So I'm still waiting on my Facebook page. I've got to get a special new code to allow me back into my own personal page and my Facebook page. Just on Facebook again in general. But I believe we got the people who had the page out. And we're regaining a little control little by little each day. Not a fast process by any means. Not as fast as I would like. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow over here. Make kind of an orange. And then I'm going to come back through adding a little bit, some orange. Kind of bringing a little bit of orange there. Just thinking about it. This is such great news for me. This is great news for me. Look at what I get. Ooh, jiggle wiggles. Coffee. Excuse me, I'm going to sip. Coffee. Good time to do whatever you're doing. You have a beverage up. Sip some coffee and restore. It's a nice time to look at your painting and see how it's going. Kind of evaluate, take it in, think about it a little bit.
Have a sip of coffee. This is not.
Have
this
a sip
is
of
espresso.
coffee. This is espresso. Espresso.
Nom 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 nom.
Is it because it's got the milk in it? Doesn't that make it a cappuccino? I don't know.
Oh, well, this is breve. We use half and half, so it's technically. Yeah, I think it's a breve cappuccino. I think is what we make.
Mm.
This may even be more of a flat white because the amount of.
Do we have any questions so I can enjoy my coffee for a second?
I'm sure.
So answer them verbally. Okay.
How are you enjoying your coffee?
I'm loving this. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. This is a good idea to stand up and stretch now if you're still doing the painting with me and you've been sitting with me this whole time. It's a good idea, even watching, just, move your body a little bit, do a little self-care, check your body. Do you need to go to the restroom? Are you dehydrated? Do you have any pain anywhere? One of the things that happens to us when we paint is we just lose all sense of reality and all sense of time and all sense of physicality. And honestly, like, it can get away from you. How often have you just been painting for 5 hours and didn't even notice it went by and you haven't maybe even stood up? So it's a good idea to do some self-care at this time.
So one of the things that Cinnamon and I have really enjoyed is this espresso machine that we got. It's a commercial one that I restored, and we now make our own little espresso at home because
it was not loved anymore, but we loved it.
It was, yes, right. Well, they're very simple things. It's a boiler and a pump. So as long as it's clean.
Simple for who? simple for you. That's what you say things all the time. It's not that bad of a repair. I'm just going to take the whole car apart and put it back together. What's the big deal? I
But
just totally customized a fuel pump. What? Doesn't everyone just customize fuel pumps?
Yes.
No.
When you want to go faster, they do. How did you decide where to put the aqua orange highlights and lowlights on the background?
Well, a lot of that is, I'm gonna be real honest. When I'm doing a design like this, it goes a little slower for me because I'm like literally staring at it and I'm like, where should I put blue? Where should I put orange? Um, Patrons actually get to see me do this because sometimes when I pre-record a lesson, I'll record it with them watching me do the recording, and then between steps, I do my usual work of like, what the heck am I doing here? So I'm looking for elements of balance and strength and weight and color and line, create those things. So this sort of irregular shape that comes around here creates a sense of a circle. It keeps our color in. If didn't have any color up here, it just felt wild and empty. But by putting a little bit of this in it, it felt a little bit like maybe snow coming through or something sort of sparkling off in the distance. It's just looking at what can I be reductive, but still keep what needs to be here for it to feel balanced.
Did you know that
So I'm looking for balance, not necessarily a rule of thirds or any like that, though I do consider those things, but a lot of times I'm just looking for the harmony and the balance and the flow. Is this thing sending me off the canvas? Like, are all the lines taking me away from the canvas? Are all the colors taking me away from the canvas? Shooting me off to the right or shooting me off to the left? Oh, I got right and left right. That's a watershed moment.
Did you know that the bug has been a member for 45 months? Wowzers!
Wow, super bug.
That's a few.
That's a few. Thank you. To everyone who's in the emoji club and you've had these long memberships, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy the emojis. They're a silly thing that YouTube allows us to do. It's different than the patronage. It's just a weird YouTube thing. You can join the patronage from YouTube if you want to. If you're just like, no, I only trust Google, that's totally fine. But I do recommend doing it through our website or Patreon, just because you have access easier to everything. Though if you have joined through here, you have a dashboard on our website that is for you specifically for all the hundreds of patron lessons, because we have exclusive patron lessons. So if you had joined through anything, through anywhere, and you weren't aware of your dashboard, write us at support@theartsherpa.com and we will help you find it.
It's super easy. It's also on, you'll see a link in any of the newsletters that you've gotten. So
to the dashboard?
I think so, yeah.
No, I don't dashboard in.
Okay, well then I'll make sure that we get that then.
I didn't know I needed to do that one.
That's okay. We'll add
I
it.
linked them to the current project. I didn't know to link them to their dashboard.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Remember we have the secret non-secret dashboard page?
The secret non-secret dashboard page. The honor dashboard page.
Right. Just, patrons know where it's at.
I will start linking them to you. Patrons have you guys have a lesson Sunday night at 6 p.m. We're drawing. We're going to draw a flower. Am I stalling? Yes, I am.
It's okay. This is a little coffee.
Any other questions? So I can continue enjoying my coffee, because I'll be a better teacher for this cup of coffee for the rest of this lesson. I'll be like, ooh, I like, woo.
So I'm going to ask, what do you like most about being here in Ann Arbor?
The community. I love my neighbors.
That was super unexpected that we, for people who are all about community, that's what we do. That it was surprising that it took us that long to go, you know what? That should be the number one thing we look at.
If you're looking to move, I did this when I moved. I really thought about holistically, not just the house. Actually, I put the house as the last consideration for where we moved. And I put the other more kind of ephemeral things like neighborhoods, not just schools, but like proximity to the kind of shopping that we like, neighborhood, kind of a really cool, quirky neighborhood vibe.
We wanted parks. We wanted
infrastructure so the kids could walk safely.
We wanted buses and bike trails.
And so many parks.
We wanted our kids to be able to walk up the street, say hello to other little kids, and then go play in a park. And I mean, we found it.
Yeah.
This is full Mayberry up in here.
Yeah. It's really rather lovely. So I highly suggest if you're moving to like use those other metrics, like if you're like look for the art area of town. We looked for the arty area of town. Um, then you have a bunch of artists living next door, which is really rather lovely, or creative people. It's been really nice. I like it very much. I also like everybody's dogs. They've just like lovely dogs.
There's lots of dog peoples.
Lovely dogs. Just every dog's a lovely dog.
There's extraordinarily fat, lazy cats, lots of bunnies, some gigantic squirrels.
Yeah, squirrels are definitely thriving.
I think we have 3 varieties. I think we technically have squirrels, chipmunks, and I don't know what the other guys. We have these other guys that are all super dark brown or black. They're small,
Hmm.
and I don't know what those guys are called.
Getting another sip.
It's okay. They're like
Um,
ninja squirrels.
Oh, I get northern lights. That was really lovely. There's apple picking and fruit picking in the area. There's river activities. There's a lot of different types of activities. So I really wanted a place that the kids, as they grew up, it wasn't going to be like not fun for them, that there's a lot of fun in the area for them to do. A lot of museums in the area, like a lot of things I was looking for. So it really worked out very well.
Yeah, and we keep discovering more and more things that we didn't even mean to like about the place. Like I found out just recently that there is an inter-neighborhood D&D game competition.
That's where we moved.
Yeah.
We like it. I
Yes,
highly
it's
recommend it. If you work from home, I throw a vote for Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor is nestled deep in the Dork Forest.
It really is.
And
And if you need a city, Detroit's not that far away.
no, it's not.
And if you like lakes, they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like everywhere. Just everywhere. And people are nice. Like Midwest nice is a real thing.
I got a bumper sticker that says I love Ann Arbor.
Did you? I
Yeah.
didn't see that when I saw the Arrakis one, but I didn't see that one.
I also have one for Flynn's Arcade,
Right.
but
That was a good little break. Sorry, guys.
that's all right. You got to have a little mini break. There's a little social time. The social. Hello,
Little
hello.
social. Did we miss any questions?
Have you been to the art fair there yet?
Don't be mad, but I have not, because I
We've been
worked
so
through it.
busy
I
during-
worked through.
Yeah.
I was gonna go this year, but I worked through it because we had the retreat at that exact time.
Mm-hmm.
Because we wanted to do the retreat at the same time as the art fair. Um, Turned out to be not necessarily a thing we needed to do, but some people did go to the art fair, but a lot of people wanted to stay, so I went and taught a class for the retreat, an extra class that we hadn't really planned. I taught an extra class, and I ended up really liking that. So I think we're going to change our retreat dates a little bit, so I can go to the art fair and teach this more intensive retreat classes. I like realized, oh my goodness, I can teach all day.
I don't know how Ann Arbor got its name. Or
Oh,
who-
it's named after the founders' wives.
Oh, well, there you go.
I looked it up. Anyways, that's what the website said. For however we trust that, I don't know, but that's what the website said.
Somebody was saying something similar to this in the chat earlier about how Google is unreliable and you can't always trust that stuff. And I was just thinking, you know what? Google's about 1,000,000 times more reliable than the 30-year-old dictionary set I had in high school.
Yeah, you have to find that balance with the online stuff to realize all the information is here, but not all the information is good.
And-
And that's the thing that you got to balance out as a netizen, isn't it? Like there's a lot of information out there, but not all the information is credible or comes from good sources or is vetted. And so just like, in a community, you have your trusted sources, and then you have a couple people that, like, they say wild stuff that you love them, but you don't necessarily believe them. You're like, oh, we'll say Ann again. Well, that's Ann, right? That's just Ann for you. And you love Ann, but you don't necessarily take Ann's word to the bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By the way, Ann's, I love you. I'm not speaking specifically about you. I was just picking a random, we just said Ann Arbor, and I love Ann's. So I think that's the Google thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, going through this hacking, I have leveled up my internet. I feel like we went through what Linus Tech Tips went through,
Mm-hmm.
and the only thing that makes me feel better is like they went through it too. So I'm like, could happen to anybody. But I mean, the world is just it just is weirder and wilder and weirder and wilder. You know, there's just so many things that you have to think about now that we didn't have to think about before. Back when we could just drink out of a hose and we didn't have to think about that at all.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think about the microplastics from the hose. Now I couldn't drink from a hose. I know too much. I know too much. You know, it's just the world has changed.
Yeah.
Some of it for the better, not everything for the better. You know, it's like anything else. Like, you know, sometimes the old way is better, but I don't think hoses were
All
better.
right, we gotta give you a new step.
New step. All right, I'm gonna come here and I think I'm gonna think about putting in my little foot now. Needs to be a believable length from the body is what I'm looking for. Hopefully I did this well.
Mid bird pick me up.
I'm gonna add some little claws down here. I don't really see them until I add the gray. I like to give him 3 little toes. 3 little toes. And the other leg is over here doing the thing. We don't see it. That's not bad. And while I'm at this, I'm going to come here and paint in my little circle. And I think I'll paint in the beak. Now, if you are, you know, a member of the Audubon Society and you're bird watching, I recognize that bird beaks are really, 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 really shape important. So if you're like, that is not the exact blue jay beak, pull a blue jay up on your phone and just make those adjustments. I just sort of, what I do is I go bird. That's all that's happening here is I go bird.
So when I was young,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought the Autobahn Society was a car club.
Makes sense.
I was like, I want to join the Autobahn Society. I think that'd be cool.
Those artists give me like insecurities. They're so good. Those artists are like amazing from the Audubon Society. All right, I'm gonna grab my number 6 round again, and I'm gonna come here and maybe grab a little red, purple, a little glazing liquid in it.
Sorely disappointed to find out it was about birds, and that when you went to the Autobahn,
Well, nature and stuff, yeah.
they don't require you to join a club when you drive on the Autobahn, either.
They don't.
No, you just get to go on there, and it's a surprisingly not like I would say that there's a surprisingly like average country road feel to portions of it, where you're like, wow, that was a very fast car going down an average country road.
Makes me think of Tracy Chapman. You have a fast car. Yeah. So we have fallen down a wonderful rabbit hole recently. Or at least a funny human one called "Am I the Red Flag?"
Oh yeah.
This is one creator does that. "Am I the red flag?" And it has been so funny. Just kind of shading a little bit of the front of the berries so that they have a little more shading about them.
Mm-hmm.
They need a little shading so they can feel juicy. Juicy berries. berries just go on and on and on and on and on. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of my white over to my
It's on YouTube.
Cad Red. Yeah, it's a YouTube show. Very funny. The kid that does it is a very funny person. And he reads stories from Reddit of people who are asking if they're the red flag. They use another word, but I like that
Yeah.
he changed it to red flag. And then he reads these crazy stories of things that happen to people and reacts to them in real time. And he's got a little flag. And when he thinks if it's a good thing, he runs with the green flag, and if it's a bad thing, he runs with the red flag.
Yeah.
He's funny. Even John laughed.
I like him. So far,
And add a little pink highlight.
I have been in alignment with his flagging on the
So
field.
far.
So far.
If you find something
Yeah.
wild, let us know. Because, man.
You got to be careful about endorsing other internet personalities because they just all of a sudden one day decide to go rogue.
Yeah, they really do, man. You just think you know somebody, and then all of a sudden, there's controversy everywhere and a questionable meal kit and just all kinds of things.
You
You're
find
like,
out
"Wait,
they've
what?"
got 5,000 peacocks in their backyard, and you're
I
like,
could take
"What are you
5,000
doing?"
peacocks
That'd be fine.
compared to some of the stuff that some of them come out with. You're just like, what?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to let that have a dry for a second, and then I'm going to switch back to my teeny tiny little brush. This is the number 0 precision. I just like a little more control. I'm going to bring a little of my white over to my black, like you do. Bring a little glazing liquid to it too, so it's got nice flow. So glazing liquid helps you glaze, slows down the drying time of the paint, and improves the flow of the paint. So if you just have a day where your paint just doesn't seem to want to come off the brush onto the canvas, and believe you me, there are days like that. I'm going to bring a little bit of a knuckle here, a little bit of a knuckle there. A little bit of shading up the leg.
Oh, this is Sherry's first time here.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry. And was curious, like, she saw that we got hacked and there was some stuff going on. And yeah, it was. And
we're in recovery now, but it's like right now they send a code. Facebook sends a code. I try to use the code, or the code doesn't come. So we're in this thing. They've locked me up so much and put so much security I can't get into my own account now.
So it's where we're at is they have we've gotten all the things back into Facebook's control. So the bad guys were booted, and our wonderful Cad Red has,
or at least that's what we believe.
We as of right now, this is what we have seen and what we are understanding is that we've got all the bad guys out of there. They've rewired everything back up for us, but we have not been able to log back into the system because there's a thing called a security checkpoint, which basically it's where Facebook says nothing can be changed on this account unless support says so. And so they have to push a little button on their side, which does a little thing, and then we get a code, and then we can do our next
They only
step.
do that Monday through Friday during working hours, and
Yeah.
we are very, I'm so grateful for the help we're having.
Yes.
Super grateful,
Super
but
grateful.
we are not the highest on the totem pole.
For
right?
sure.
And we're not the only ones who get hacked. Like big giant corporations like Ford can get hacked.
And
that's what the hacking team is really there for, is to make sure that Ford, doesn't wake up to like what I woke up to. So
and that's what happened. I'm going to move that. There we go.
I'm adding a little more black in to make a darker gray and coming to the top of my beak.
Yeah, if you think that you've got a multinational company with potentially hundreds of people that access your Facebook account every day to do different things on it, mistakes happen and stuff goes wrong, and you have to have a support team for that. But given that this is a multinational corporation with multiple laws that govern things, it has to go through safety doors. Only certain people.
I just
can do
made some lighter gray. It does. It has this little thing to go through. All right, I'm going to come around the eye, and I outline it gray. Now, this is much thicker than I want the outline to be, but when I come back and paint the eye back in and paint around it, it will be better. And then I'm going to take the front of the beak, and I'm going to just sort of highlight it with a little bit of the lighter gray as well, and along the little edge. So it's got a little bit of that there. So now we have some feet. fits. Some little fits. Because we wanted fits. You gotta love the fits. And I'm gonna dry everything. And we'll come
All
back
right.
and we'll start painting on the bird finally.
Okay.
Very exciting time to paint on the bird.
So yeah, the our just as a note there on our hack that happened to us, it was very interesting because we had two-factor authentication, we had all of the stuff in. There's just a particular vulnerability that these hackers were seeking to exploit, and because the way that they did it, it was very upsetting and quick. But luckily, we had some friends who were able to help fix it. And it wasn't because they got our passwords. It wasn't because they got,
Oh.
yeah, they used a loophole in the security system there to take advantage of
And,
something.
and,
So,
and enacted a very long con on us.
yeah,
Yeah, it was great. We're going to make a whole video about it because it was such a crazy experience. Just have to tell you all about it in its own video because it was wild. Wild. Step 10. I'm going to take my number 6 sepia round again, and I'm going to come here to my little bird face, and I'm going to do a little black marking. Like here. Come around. Around the little gray line. So I'm just sorry for all the ick everybody saw, though.
yeah, very sorry.
And I so appreciated you guys going after him. That was really funny. Y'all made the hacker's day just terrible, and I really am grateful. You didn't let him put up a post without like saying this page has been hacked.
Mm-hmm.
They like deleted till 2019 trying to get you guys on post saying it. It was funny. It was super funny. I'm gonna come along the back here. A little black to the back of the little kind of crest here. And then we're going to come sort of underneath the little chin. I'll make some little feathers out. Come back a little bit. A little white cheek. That's where the little white cheek's going to go. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of my ultramarine blue. I've got my black still on my brush. Some white over here. So it's a blue gray. I'm going to come in here and put blue gray down where there's going to be the white feathers.
So nice to see all our art friends here.
It's so good to have everybody here. Thank you for coming. I know, like, right now, have we put up the texting? Because, like, I don't have Facebook notifications anymore to share with anybody, so texting is the best way to get a hold.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get the graphic up here. But they've been dropping it in chat for sure.
Okay.
But I'll make sure next time I can see if I can get the graphic while we're here. But
There
I
we
don't think
go.
so.
So that's gray in that little spot. Gray.
Great.
Gray. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my ultramarine blue over here and add some white paint to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't have the graphics here.
That's okay. And just paint this little blue up here. This is the underpainting of the bird, so I don't want you to feel like, oh, this is going to be like overwhelming. We do this in layers. I'm going to come down here. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my Phthalo Blue. And a little white.
Oh, I think I can do something next.
And just paint all of that in. And then I'm going to kind of take my brush and smudge between these two locations to kind of blend out the ultramarine blue coming down there. Take a little bit of my quinacridone into my phthalo blue. And kind of come down my little tail. Little blue on my brush. And come over that with a little bit of the blue. Now let's go ahead and get some black. All right, I want to dry everything.
Okay.
Come back, I'll show you what we do next.
Well, quite cool. I think I got a little graphic here that I can do.
Oh, excellent.
So, and let's see if I can push this button. Hey, look at that. To sign up for text and SMS notifications, you can send join to 734-808-0828. And that will help you join the text message notification, which is, I send those out before the show so that you guys can get gnomified. And that's where gnomes, they're my workshop helpers, put the little messages into the little tubes that send them out to you so that you get notified when we do things. See, I made a graphic. Oh, there you go. Put you back on there. Ooh. Now you need this graphic.
1/4 inch angle brush. I'm going to take a little bit of my ultramarine, not my phthalo blue and my quinacridone magenta. I'll go ahead and get a little white onto it. And I'm going to come here. Using the angle brush, start to very carefully. Kind of take a little toe out to make the birds feel a little fluffed. A little bit over the leg. And kind of onto the tail a little bit for the underneath. I take a little bit of my red over here. And it's okay if it has some yellow in it. Make some peach. A little yellow in that peach. Mm. One of the big things is just making sure that your brush is clear of past pigment.
Pigments of strokes gone by.
Little peach. A little bit of our orange here. I'm gonna dust this up, brush this in. Little layers. Rinse the brush out really well. I'm going to take some of my white over to my ultramarine blue. Make a nice blue. And a little bit here, just take the toe of my brush to kind of give a little feathered edge. A little bit down the wing. Come into my like phthalo blue. A little bit of blue there. I'll wipe my brush off. I'm going to take a little bit of my blue gray. Make a lighter blue gray. And dry brush over this little cheek, that lighter blue gray. Get a little bit of that purple going. Very light value. Little short brush strokes. And I bring some of them into the belly. This brush is always kind of a struggle because the paint wants to creep up the brush and I have to wipe it off periodically. You can see it just wants to climb up. A little bit. Light purple, lighter purple. Rinse off. A little bit of orange. Red orange. mixed into the white. And I weave those feathers back through into that. Little tiny marks. Then I'm going to get in some white and yellow. Right up here at the chest. A little more yellow. Little tap, 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 tap.
Now, which acrylics are you using here?
I am using this line of acrylics. I'm using Acrylic by Sienna. It's a French company. They've been around for 280 years making paint. They're pretty recent to acrylic, but I like this and I like golden artist colors. I like Holbein. I like M. Graham. I like PBO. There's some good paints out there, and you just want to find something that you enjoy.
And I like to let you know that you can buy those paints in our store.
Woohoo!
Because that's a way, if you can get them anywhere.
I'm going to add a little more white to my ultramarine blue.
But if you're going to buy paint, you could buy it in our store and it would help support us.
That's true. We have an art store.
We do have an art store.
And if you live in the contiguous United States, we ship.
Yep.
I wish we shipped globally. Just very carefully kind of blend that out. I like that. That's looking good. Hardest to clean brush I have. Hardest. All right. So I'm going to take a little bit of my black. I've got it on the toe of this brush, and I'm going to come here and very carefully put in the little black markings.
Ooh, that was nice. Share Love just gifted 5 memberships.
Oh, thank you. Enjoy your emoji club, new members.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's silly. Throw up some new emojis. You just got new emojis that are
Bing, bing,
custom
bing,
to the
bing,
channel.
bing.
Ding, ding, ding. Thank you so much.
That's so nice. Thank you.
Inside of the eye too. It was just a thin little gray outline. Make a dark gray. Make the lower beak a dark gray. Add a little white to it. Maybe lighten that up a little bit. And then another little lightening of the gray. Just get that to go in there. We're getting it going, my friends. We're getting it going. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my white over to my little ultramarine blue mix over here. I might come over to my phthalo blue. Kind of a nice light. I'll highlight there. All right, let's dry everything for a second.
Okay.
We've done a lot of work on the bird. We've got more to do, but
More
we are starting to be in the
bird.
downhill stretch.
Yeah.
So we have a little more bird to do.
Okay.
And then we got to add some snow.
All right. So the snow will be coming. Winter is coming. Dun dun dun. And you know what? You can feel it up here in Michigan. Like you're hanging out here, and like this is our second season in Michigan, just to kind of give an idea. But we were in PA before this, which had a very gentle fall. It was just sort of like, hey, the leaves or trees are changing, doing all that. See, up here in Michigan, we were out swimming one weekend at the local pool and came back, and it got cold that evening. And then the next morning, all the trees fell off all the trees. All the leaves fell off all the trees just one day. And then it's, there's a couple of stragglers, but I mean, it was instant fall in Michigan. It was like overnight fall.
Overnight fall.
Just
fall happened.
It said you kind of got that, but it just.
We're going to do something challenging here. We're going to take a little bit of our cad red and our cad yellow. Oh, actually, we've got orange here. We might as well just use this good orange that we were about to mix to anyways. And I'm going to come on the inside of the eye. A little bit of a U here. A little bit of light there. Grab a little gray. A little bit there. Just thinking about it. I'm going to grab some more black. And leave just a little sliver of that orange showing. You can just do the whole eye black if this is just super challenging, but that's what I did on the original. So I figured I would do the same on both.
Right.
I'm going to grab a little white. Come to the eye. Add a little highlight. A slightly lighter peak color. Dry brush a little highlight there. Now I want to take a little bit of my phthalo blue and white with my angle brush. Do little descending lines here. And then brighten up the turquoise blue. And we're going to get some black just a little bit. Just making sure the underneath of my tail is painted well. Completely covered. Get a little bit of my blue. Edge that a little bit. I'm going to add some more white. And my phthalo blue, kind of turquoise color going on over here. I'm going to add some highlights to that. Now I might just come back with a little bit of my, I'm going to take my round brush. A little bit off that wing there. All right, now I'm going to switch to a unexpected brush. I really like this brush. If you don't have this brush, you can use a filbert, which is any brush that's sort of curved like this. Or if you don't have either one, a filbert at all, you could use a round because you want the rounder shape. If you have a D brush, you would use the flat side of the D brush to do this. So those are the brushes you could use. I'm going to use the 3/8 inch filbert grainer and get a little bit wet. I'm going to load up a little black paint on it. I'm going to come here and kind of come up the wing with a little black. And grab a little just phthalo blue. Just some touches of it. Not too much, just a little bit of phthalo. I'm going to grab a little white and yellow. I'm going to very carefully add a little bit of a highlight there. A little more white. I get some white here. I have some glazing liquid, so it's going to flow off my brush nicely. Because we've been painting for a while, so the paint's starting to thicken up. Adding some white and markings to those feathers. And grab a little bit of light color. And then I'm going to grab some white and ultramarine blue. Just make sure that there's like a little bit of highlighted feathers up the little neck here. Get a little white. Along the top here. A little white right in the center of that cheek. Very light yellow. Kind of work in there. Happy, happy. Happy, happy, happy.
Very nice.
My last little touch is I'm going to come along here and just make sure that this has a nice separation. That's very black. All right. Now we're going to dry everything. Dry everything.
My buttons didn't go fast enough. Just reading the chat. So you guys, it's so nice to see everybody out here. I love that you guys have so many friends in the chat group. I love being able to see you guys. If you haven't had a chance to join our live chat, I really, really suggest you do. Ooh, oh wait, there it goes. Don't forget, you can sign up for the SMS.
SMS. SMS. Thank you guys for being here for this painting. This is a big one, and I love that we're doing it together today.
Yeah.
Hydrate.
Hydration.
Hydration. All right, now I'm going to take a little bit of my white over to my ultramarine blue, and I'm going to make a light blue color. Glazing liquid in it if you need it. And then I'm going to come to this berry. And I'm going to start to snow on my berries. Try to imagine how the snow would collect. Or light blue. I might come up here and add a little snow where this little bud is. A little snow where that bud is.
Mm-hmm.
Snowing on our berries and our branches. A very light blue. We do a light blue so that we also can take it up to a pure white, creating a highlight, and it will help it register more as no. Snow's a little different on my painting every time.
Because that snow is different every time.
You know, you paint to the painting that you're doing. I might put some snow here. Try to make it feel a little clumpy. Snow on top of this berry.
Mm-hmm.
This berry should have a lot of snow. It should collect up in the tree. There we go. Nice little bit of snow. And then put some snow in this little corner. Okay. Rinse that out. Now to do the next layer, I really need it to be dry. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
it'll just keep going blue. So I'm going to dry everything and come back and put the snow highlight on.
All right. One more dry to get to the finished painting. All right. So, the snowfall. Got a couple more layers, and then I think we're going to be pretty close to done. So thank you guys for being here with us and painting with us and doing all this. It's been really awesome. I'm going to expect that we've just got just a little bit more layering.
Just one more layer.
One more layer.
Another layer. Just one more.
One more.
One more.
On the 14th step.
All right, I'm going to grab a little bit of glazing liquid into my white because my white is definitely starting to thicken up. I have a nice load. Okay. Little white. Highlight it. Subtle.
Subtle.
but important.
Mm-hmm.
And the little blue just gives the snow some shading.
It does.
I'm just using my round brush and kind of just clumping it down. One of the things that might be hard for you, not having confidence yet in every brushstroke that you have, is trusting that your way of putting down the snow is the right way to put down the snow. And your big assignment for this is to just trust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Trust your brushstroke. If you really examine mine, you're going to find out that your brushstroke and my brushstroke are very similar, but they don't have to be the same. All right.
Wow.
It snowed.
It snowed.
And then
And then
you're going to take your number 0 brush. You're going to grab some just white paint on the toe of it. And you're going to come to where we put the little pink highlights.
oh, that's the
Shiny little reflection. So the berries look shiny.
It turned out so cool.
Literally cool. Literally cool. This is part of the Winter Wonder series where I do winter paintings as a collection every year. Just starting a little bit early and sort of spacing them out. So we'll have Winter Wonder and then other paintings between.
Yeah. Yep.
Doing the little signature. There we go. We did it. We did it. We painted a painting.
Oh, look at that.
Painted the painting. Oh, we did it.
Man, that turned out good.
Did this turn out good?
So good.
So good. So good. Now I have so many brushes to wash. So many brushes to wash. And remember, after every painting session, you want to wash your brushes with warm water and soap. You can even, if you have a brush that has really dried in acrylic, you can heat up the water. Not like boiling water, but hot water and soap to just help break it up because heat helps break down the acrylic a little bit. So that's something you can do. And you want to wash your brushes after every single session. And that will really extend their life. So you can invest a little more in your brushes and know that they're going to last a minute. You can sign up for texts if you'd like to know when we're live or premiering or doing a video or anything that's happening here on the channel. That way you don't have to worry about getting notifications or not. We will notify you. The way to go. Thank you so much for your time today. I just enjoyed spending it with you. Yeah. I really appreciate you guys coming to these live streams so much. And I appreciate you hanging in with me through the hacking and all the stuff that was going on over on Facebook. So thank you so much. And really, I want you to be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and I will see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye.